Hey there movie lovers, welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're heading back to the 1980s for some supernatural high school fun with the cult comedy classic Teen Wolf. Starring Michael J. Fox, this beloved film mixed basketball, teenage drama and werewolf chaos into one unforgettable movie experience. But how much do you really know about what happened behind the scenes? From surprising production secrets and casting stories to hidden details and moments you may have missed. There's plenty more to this hairy comedy than meets the eye. So slick back your fur, hit the basketball court, and let's howl our way through 20 things you never knew about Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf was greenlit because of the success of Valley Girl. After seeing how the low-budget high school film generated a substantial profit, Atlantic Entertainment Group wanted a teen movie of its own. Recent Columbia Film School graduates Joseph Loeb and Matthew Wiseman successfully pitched Teen Wolf in just 10 to 15 minutes. To secure Michael J. Fox's approval, they had only 3 weeks to complete the script. Ron Daniel was chosen to direct because he saw it as more than just a film about a teenage werewolf. While other directing candidates told Fox the story was about a werewolf, Daniel viewed it as a father and son story. His son Lucas later said he enjoyed a great childhood because his father worked through issues with his own dad while directing Teen Wolf. Despite having mixed feelings about the concept, Fox took the role in Teen Wolf because the timing worked perfectly. The low-budget production neatly filled a break in filming for family ties. The project also appeared to be a sensible opportunity, especially given that the teenage werewolf formula had already found success with Michael Landon in I Was a Teenage Werewolf. The memorable van surfing scene was inspired by something one of the writers had actually done at university. It was known as urban surfing. Jerry Levine, who played Fox's best friend Styles, performed the scene on top of the van himself while secured by wires. One of the film's most talked about moments was never meant to be part of the film at all. During the final basketball game scene, an extra in the background can briefly be seen exposing himself as the crowd celebrates. Strangely, nobody involved in the production noticed the moment at the time, and it remained hidden in plain sight for years. It wasn't until decades later, when the scene was highlighted on VH1, that audiences and filmmakers alike became aware of the now infamous background mishap. Michael J. Fox was not a natural basketball player. Even after 2 weeks of coaching, he struggled on the court. Basketball player Jeff Glosser was far more skilled and was hired as Fox's basketball double. Glosser sometimes wore the werewolf makeup for 12 hours at a time and could only manage milkshakes or soup. Director Rod Daniel chose to keep the story entirely set in Nebraska, despite every scene being shot in California. But originally, Scott Howard was meant to appear on The Tonight Show. The only scene from the script that was never filmed involved the Teen Wolf sitting down with Johnny Carson. James Hampton originally auditioned for the role of Coach Finstock. After his reading, Fox asked him to audition for the part of Scott's father as well. Hampton may have had second thoughts, however, as the werewolf makeup left him feeling claustrophobic and took 4 hours to apply. Italy and Brazil eagerly tried to cash in on Michael J. Fox's Back to the Future fame when marketing Teen Wolf. In Italy, Scott was renamed Marty, clearly referencing Marty McFly. In Brazil, the film was released as O Garoto do Futuro, meaning the boy of the future, if I said it right, despite Teen Wolf having nothing to do with time travel. Although Teen Wolf became a hit, Michael J. Fox later admitted he did not regard it as one of his greatest achievements. In his memoir Future Boy, he jokingly described the film as far from my magnus opus, especially when measured against Back to the Future, the film that would soon redefine his career. One of Fox's stranger memories from the Teen Wolf set came during an awkward product placement photo session. Buried beneath werewolf makeup and around 25 pounds of yak hair, he was asked to pose with a chocolate bar so the supplier could confirm their product had appeared in the film. Fox later joked that the experience made him feel like a whore, only for a crew member to fire back, "Well, you are a whore." The Teen Wolf screenplay opened with a playful disclaimer. "Due to our strong personal convictions, we wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult, nor do we propose that any beings, supernatural or otherwise, actually exist. Most of what follows is true." The line was an almost word-for-word parody of the famous introduction used in Michael Jackson's 1983 Thriller video. The connection to Thriller did not stop there. The red and yellow jacket Michael J. Fox wears in the film's poster closely resembles the one worn by Michael Jackson during his werewolf transformation. In the actual film, however, Fox's character wears the blue and yellow Beacon High B Letterman jacket instead. The studio originally wanted Scott Howard to dress more like Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, aiming for a more exaggerated surfer-style look. Michael J. Fox, however, believed Scott's wardrobe already suited the character's everyday high school personality. Happy with the direction they had taken, he quickly shut down any further discussion about changing Scott's style, helping to keep the character simple and relatable rather than turning him into a Spicoli-style copy. Michael J. Fox rose to major fame during the production of Teen Wolf. While the film was being shot, Family Ties was one of the most watched programs in America. After Fox became a star, one scene took longer than expected to film because female extras excitedly screamed when he emerged from the school. The Beavers logo seen in Teen Wolf was a rip-off of the old Benny Beaver logo once used by Oregon State University. The university continued using that version of the mascot for years after the film's release, before retiring the design in the late 1990s. Some viewers may have recognised the actress who played Rhonda. Linda Weismeyer had been Playboy's Playmate of the Month in July 1982. She also appeared in Real Genius, which was released only a few weeks before Teen Wolf. An NFL player was such a fan of Teen Wolf that he legally changed his name after one of the characters. In 2008, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive end Greg White became Styles White because of his love for the character. The writers and director of Teen Wolf were convinced the film would flop at the box office. On opening day, Joseph Loeb and Matthew Wiseman and Ron Daniel attended an afternoon screening where only 4 people turned up. After a disheartening dinner, they headed to a 7:30 p.m. showing in Westwood, a lively college town, and found it completely sold out. Both the audience and the filmmakers ended up having a fantastic time. The film had originally been scheduled for an earlier 1985 release, but the studio delayed it to allow several major releases to run their course. Production company Atlantic Releasing invested $4 million in advertising for the film, and when Teen Wolf finally opened in the United States on the 23rd of August 1985, it debuted at number 2 at the box office, finishing behind Back to the Future, another Michael J. Fox hit. By the end of its theatrical run, the film had earned an impressive $80 million worldwide. Teen Wolf proved successful enough to launch an entire franchise. A sequel, Teen Wolf 2, arrived in 1987, with Jason Bateman starring as Todd Howard, Scott Howard's cousin. The film largely introduced a new cast of characters, with only James Hampton and Mark Holton returning from the original movie. The franchise also expanded to television with an animated adaptation that aired on CBS from 1986 to 1987. Townsend Coleman voiced Scott Howard, while James Hampton reprised his role as Harold Howard. Although the cartoon held on to the film's core concept and many familiar characters, it made several changes, including having Scott hide his werewolf identity from the public. Years later, creator Jeff Davis reimagined Teen Wolf as a darker supernatural teen drama, blending action, horror and romance. Starring Tyler Posey as Scott McCall, the series ran for 6 seasons between 2011 and 2017. The story later continued with Teen Wolf the movie, released in 2023. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about Teen Wolf. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.